Good afternoon, students. In the furtherance of previous lecture, we are going to complete module 7 in today's lecture, whereby we are going to discuss principles of civil law and penal laws. Now, we've already studied civil law, what basically it comes to what it arises, what it formulates, and how it goes by. Now, civil law basically provides you with some certain amount of rights and obligations which are imposed and obligated on one person. So, this particular principles of law was also written and discussed by Jeremy Bentham. Now, what was the main motive of discussing this, anything regarding principles of civil law? Principles of civil law, the main motive was to express the motives of law. Basically, by this what I mean is to come to a point whereby, to know exactly why is this particular law was intended to be made. Now, what to express the motives of law means to coming to a knowledge, to gain a particular knowledge of a person, to gain the knowledge of the true reasons as to why a particular law was formed, as to why and how a legislator could come to, should come to a point whereby he is, conferring some rights and imposing some duties or objections on a particular person. Now, exactly this is what I've written: to gain the knowledge of true reasons which guide the legislature in distribution of rights and obligations. Now, rights and obligations, what exactly are rights? Rights are some things, rights are certain privileges, rights are some advantages which a person is enjoying. Similarly, obligation is something which a person is obligated to do. It is your duty, you are mandatorized under the law to perform a certain action or a certain duty. Now, rights and obligations are inseparable two things which cannot go without each other. If for example, if a certain right is conferred on one particular person, there is definitely going to be a duty or an obligation which is to be fulfilled by second party or the third party, whosoever it may concern. Similarly, if I am obligated to do something, it is your right or it is your duty to perform something in return to that particular situation or thing. Now, what are the basic objectives, what are the objectives of formation of a civil law? Now, we've always heard, civil procedure code hai, it is a uniform code, it is applicable to everybody, एक set procedure hai, it is very easy to read, it is easy to formulate, easy to gain, etc. Now, similarly, what are the basic objectives as to why civil law should be read and why is it important? Now, very first is subsistence. Now, subsistence means कि उस चीज का होना should be material. उस चीज, वो पर्टिकुलर चीज जिसके लिए हमने सिविल लॉ बनाया है, उस चीज का सब्सटेंसेस होना जरूरी है, वो चेंज नहीं होनी चाहिए. एंड इवन इफ इट इज चेंजिंग, इट शुड नॉट वैनिश अवे एट अ वेरी लार्ज पेस. नाउ सेकंड इज अबंडेंस, कि वो कितनी ह्यूज अमाउंट में या कितने अबंडेंस में, कितना क्वांटिफाइबल अमाउंट में वो उस चीज के लिए आपको सेटिस्फैक्टरी रिजल्ट्स प्रोवाइड करा रहा है, वो कितने लोगों के लिए बेनिफिशियल है, वो कितना जस्टिस प्रोवाइड करा रहा है लोगों के लिए, कितने लोगों के लिए वो उसने इट हैज चेंज द लाइव्स ऑफ द पीपल. द होल concept of evolving and evolution of law as a subject and as a mandatory part of our lives is to keep it evolving so that it changes with the needs of the people and people are satisfied with what they are given. Similarly, the abundance is to be kept in checks and balances. Now, equality, any law for that matter, no, I'm not restricting myself to particularly civil law, any law of the Indian legislature shall provide equality amongst these citizens of India and as well as the outsiders who have been, convicted or who are being treated under the Indian law. That is our first and the foremost, मोटो ऑफ द इंडियन लॉ कि आपको इक्वालिटी प्रोवाइड करनी है, आपको जस्टिस प्रोवाइड करनी है, आप कितने भी अमेंडमेंट्स कर लो, आप कितने भी यू नो मोल्ड कर लो, उसको चेंज कर दो, इंटरप्रेट कर लो, बट ट्राई एंड प्रोवाइड इक्वालिटी एंड जस्टिस एट द मैक्सिमम लेवल. Similarly comes with security. All the three discussed above are a major part, are a good vital, form a very vital part of the objects, but security also forms a very, very, very crucial part of the objects of civil law, because that is what exactly law is supposed to do. It is supposed to secure your rights and obligations. It is supposed to secure your concerns which you have regarding any particular subject on which a particular law is intended to be made. Now, coming to the second topic for today is principles of penal law. Now, we've studied Indian Penal Code. We know that penal codes or penal laws are basically laws which impose punishments of the on doing of certain actions which are considered to be crimes and heinous or grievous in nature. These particular actions are basically which are not considered to be human. They are considered to be inhuman practices. No man of normal prudence would end up doing these particular crimes. So any code or any law or any enactment which discusses about a particular set of actions or happening or trying to commit that particular action, the process, even the thinking of that particular action is known as penal code. Now, this principles of penal code is also an ideology of Jeremy Bentham, which was discussed by him under his book An Introduction, Principles of Morals and Legislation. Now, under principles of penal law, basically we are going to discuss the kinds of punishment which have been discussed about in the Indian Penal Code, and similarly we are also going to discuss the types of remedies, basically political remedies which are applied and taken care of by the society. Now, basically what are remedies? Remedies basically क्यों करा जाता है? जिससे कि आप उस एक्ट का हैपनिंग रोक सको, to prevent the happening of a particular action or a crime. Now, we are not sure that particular act which is happening is a crime. That comes on the later part, but that is the part where you analyze it, you inspect it, you go through a whole lot of a procedure whereby you come to a point, okay fine, this is a crime which is committed under this particular law, and similarly so on and so forth, the punishments and the remedies are issued to that particular person. Now, talking about remedies, the first remedy we are going to discuss is preventive remedy. Preventive remedy मतलब किसी चीज को होने से पहले ही बचा लो, किसी चीज के कमिट होने से पहले अगर हम बचा लेते हैं तो उसका आगे उसका फर्दरेंस इफेक्ट होने से, उसका आगे उसको दोबारा रीअकर होने से हम पहले ही स्टॉपेज लगा देते हैं. सिमिलरली प्रिवेंटिव रेमेडीज जो होते हैं वो दो तरह से हो सकता है, या तो वो इनडायरेक्टली आप इम्पोज करो या फिर आप डायरेक्टली इम्पोज करो. डायरेक्टली इम्पोज करने का मतलब क्राइम हो गया है, now that person is supposed to get charged and that person is supposed to be held guilty, and the court of law will decide upon it however whatsoever are the circumstantial situations कि आप उसको क्या punishment होती है. By the law it is supposed to be given. Now, indirect punishment is a new concept. For example, preventive detention. You must have heard that in the IPC. Preventive detention क्या होता है? अगर पुलिस वालों को लगता है, for example, this person A had committed a crime, उसकी बेल हो गई है. प्रिवेंटिव डिटेंशन में क्या करते हैं, अगर उस पुलिस को उस पर शक होता है उस बंदे पे, तो वो उस पर्सन ए को डिटेंशन में ले सकते हैं for at least 24 hours until and unless they are sure and they are satisfied that that particular person is never going to commit that particular crime. So that exactly means, that is what it means is preventive detention. कोई क्राइम करने से पहले इनडायरेक्टली उस पर इम्पोज कर दो कि आप हम नहीं चाहते कि आप वो क्राइम करो, हम आपको बस प्रिवेंटिवली डिटेन कर रहे हैं. वी आर गिविंग यू ऑल द राइट्स एंड वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू इंटेरोगेट यू विद एनी सॉर्ट ऑफ एनीथिंग. यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू बी चार्ज विद जस्ट टेकिंग अ प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर. ओके, नाउ कमिंग टू सप्रेसिव रेमेडीज. सप्रेसिव रेमेडीज का मतलब होता है कि कोई भी क्राइम है, अगर उस क्राइम की जो ग्रीवियसनेस है, उसकी इंटेंसिटी इतनी बुरी है कि उसने बहुत एज उसने सोसाइटी पे बहुत इफेक्ट डाला है, या उसने मतलब यू नो इट हैज क्रिएटेड अ केओस अमंग्स्ट द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया, तो उसकी जो एग्जिस्टेंस है हम उसको सीज कर देते हैं, मतलब टू सीज द कंप्लीटेंस ऑफ द ऑफेंस, या तो हम उस ऑफेंस को होने ही नहीं दें. Very first thing, like that is like at the face of it, you don't let the crime happen at the first place. But if that particular crime has been happening, and if it is of such a grievous nature, you try and seize it, you know, you try and abolish it, you try and completely destroy it from its roots. You suppress it, you know, आप उसको धीरे 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 करके खत्म कर दो. Now third is satisfactive remedies. Satisfactive remedies क्या होता है? रिपारेशन करके, मतलब कुछ रिपेयरिंग कर दो. कोई एक ऑफेंस हुआ है, उसमें कुछ ऑल्टरेशंस करो उसके पनिशमेंट में, जिससे बेसिकली दिस कैन ऑल्सो बी टर्म्ड एज रिफॉर्मेटिव. यू मस्ट हैव रेड अबाउट द थ्योरीज ऑफ पनिशमेंट, जहाँ पे रिफॉर्मेटिव थ्योरी है, जिसके अंडर ये बोला हुआ है कि रादर देन punishing the prisoners or the offenders, rather than giving them the hard time of their lives, one should try and take them to such a such a pleasure, such a circle of actions, or you know, such a journey of life whereby they try and understand actually what life is. You know, you try and make them into a reformed version of themselves, whereby the committing of crimes, they end up feeling it that is something wrong which they have then done, you know, which they have done wrong by themselves. Now similarly the second one is indemnification. Indemnification क्या होता है कि आपने कोई crime कर दिया है, the offense has been committed, but the person who's been affected has been indemnified. This is basically what happens. कोई crime होता है, उसके बाद हम उसको indemnify कर देते हैं and the case closes shut. So this is basically what it means is, but that comes at the very last stage, you know, that can be the very last resort, I would say, कि वो एक last resort होना चाहिए आपका कि आप indemnify कर दो चीजों को. ठीक है. Now penal remedies and simply punishments. Now simply punishments and penal remedies are basically can be headed under two things. Now the very first thing is by correcting the will. अब करेक्टिंग दी विल तो वही हो गया कि आप उसको रिफॉर्म कर दो, उस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन की जो इंटेंशंस हैं या उस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन की जो साइकोलॉजी है आप उसे चेंज कर दो, विच टू बी ऑनेस्टली स्पीकिंग इज अ वेरी लॉन्ग प्रोसीजर. नोबडी हैज सो मच टाइम कि वो उस पर्सन की काउंसलिंग करने बैठेगा. बाय द टाइम यू थिंक कि हमें उसकी काउंसलिंग करनी चाहिए, तब तक वो क्राइम ऑलरेडी कमिट हो चुका है. तो I think that comes at the very, you know, that is probably the very later stages, and it might not even, you know, be helpful at the stages of at the level of crimes which we are, you know, getting to hear and see in today's times. Similarly, second option में क्या होता है penal remedies के अंदर? Taking away power to injure. This can be done by either, you know, detaining that person, keeping an eye on that particular person as to how are his actions and what actions is he doing, keeping a check on him on the daily basis, which is done to some extent where, you know, people are, you know, thought कि उनके ऊपर crime कर सकते हैं या नहीं कर सकते हैं. Now coming to one offense which I'm going to discuss about today is chronic offenses. Chronic offenses वो होते हैं जो offenses सिर्फ short period of time के लिए वो करते हैं, मतलब लास्ट करते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोई भी ऐसा ऑफेंस, जैसे फॉर एग्जाम्पल थेफ्ट है. थेफ्ट इज एन ऑफेंस विच लास्ट ओनली फॉर अ फ्यू सेकेंड्स. अभी हो गया, कल आपको नहीं पता है कि वो ऑफेंस दोबारा होगा या उसका हैपनिंग उसकी चलती रहेगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल रेप इज एन ऑफेंस विच माइट बी कमिटेड विद इन 30 minutes और probably it might go on for an hour, but it is not going to be, you know, it cannot continue to be happening for 1 day, 2 day, 4 day. वो ऐसा नहीं होता है. So these are the kinds of chronic offenses. Now we're going to discuss about kinds of punishment which you might have already studied under the IPC under section 53. There are 5 kinds of punishments, namely death, simple and rigorous imprisonment, life imprisonment, fine and forfeiture of property. Now अब जो डेथ पनिशमेंट होती है, कैपिटल पनिशमेंट जो होती है, वो क्या होता है, वो सिर्फ अंडर ग्रीवियस केसेस में दी जाती है. Until and unless it is a proven crime कि वो इतना inhuman था, उसकी इंटेंसिटी इतनी खराब थी कि that person deserved to die उसके अलावा we are not, our Indian law does not, you know, allow any judge or any court of law to provide you with this death sentence. This particular thing was held under the case of Machi Singh versus State of Punjab. Now similarly, it comes with life imprisonment and simple imprisonment and the fine and forfeiture. Now imprisonment and fine mostly go hand in hand. Where a person is supposed to go imprisonment, he either goes along with paying a fine or excluding of the payment of the fine. So there is no set rule कि कब fine लगेगा या कब imprisonment होगा. दोनों साथ में भी हो सकते हैं और दोनों अलग अलग भी हो सकते हैं. और ऐसा भी हो सकता है कि सेम एक क्राइम के अंदर उसको पनिशमेंट भी अलाउड होती है और फाइन भी अलाउड होता है. तो इट इज़ ऑन द डिस्क्रिशन ऑफ द कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ कि वो उसे क्या पनिशमेंट देना चाहता है. और फोर्थ फीचर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी इज बेसिकली टैक्स इवेजन लॉज होते हैं, जो फिजिकल लॉज होते हैं, प्रोप्राइटरी लॉज होते हैं, उनके अंडर फोर्थ फीचर ऑफ प्रॉपर्टी होता है, जहाँ पे द गवर्नमेंट अक्वायर्स योर प्रॉपर्टी इन केस यू फेल टू पे योर डेट्स, इन केस यू आर इन एरियर्स ऑफ रेंट, इन केस you are a defaultee by law. So those are the cases whereby forfeiture of property is done. Now this completes your interpretation of law. Thank you so much.
At St. Wilfrid College of Law, Sector 10, Meera Marg, Madhyam Marg, Jaipur, Rajasthan.